Rotary Minute comes from the magazine this month, and if you want to know more about it, you can't read the whole thing, just go to your magazine this month, but this is truly old cut and paste before. This is what we used to do for cut and paste. I'm going to take a few excerpts from Mark Daniel Maloney, who is the foundation chair of Rotary now, and Stephanie Urchik, I think her name is probably pronounced, who is the Rotarian International president. They both spoke, they have messages in the magazine each month, and they both spoke on March being Water Month for Rotary. So I'm just going to read a few excerpts from that I found interesting. Am I using this mic right?
Yeah, you're doing good.
Okay. Excuse me. After joining Rotary, you never look at a glass of water the same way again. Holding it, you are humbled by the privilege of access to drinkable water. Then you recall how Rotary brings communities and water experts together to deliver safe drinking water to places in need of it, transforming lives. According to the United Nations, 2 billion people lack access to safely managed drinking water, and 3.6 billion lack safely managed sanitation. During March, and this is from Maloney, we focus on our commitment to addressing water, sanitation, and hygiene challenges through our clubs and our Rotary Foundation. And then Stephanie adds, March is here and Rotary International, and that means celebrating water. This month is an opportunity to reflect on the magic of Rotary. And if you recall, that was the theme of our Bill Skiff Story Slam this year, magic, and the profound impact we create when we come together with determination and purpose. Years ago, I experienced this magic firsthand in the Dominican Republic. When a group of members helped install water filters, 3 children watched through the basement as dirty water entered one end of the filter and clean water came out the other end. When we paused the demonstration, one child tugged at my sleeve and pleaded, "Show me the magic again." Water projects exemplify our reach, our partnership, and our unwavering commitment to improving lives. Whether it's joining forces with local organizations, forming alliances with international organizations, or mobilizing community, every step we take together brings us closer to a world where everyone will have access to clean water and safe sanitation. Moving forward, we will continue improving how we deliver water and boost sanitation, focusing on regional planning, strengthening delivery systems, and fostering partnerships. The magic of Rotary shines brightest when we work in harmony with others to create lasting good. Together, we can turn dreams into realities that transform lives and communities. And I would ask you all to remember when you go home and turn on a faucet or flush one of your toilets, think of the magic of Rotary and that what Rotarians are doing and supporting and contributing to around the world for that magic. Thank you. Introduce our speakers.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you all again. Got a really great presentation here. Maddie Morris was here about a year ago, was it? And then presented to us and received a grant. And she's been involved. We got a group of lovely young women here to help talk about Amnesty International. There's nothing that can't be accomplished when you get a young active group together to really change the world and change things. So Madeline and her team will come up here and present about Amnesty International. The work is.
First, we can introduce ourselves.
Gotta use the mic up in your face.
First, we can introduce ourselves. I'm Maddie Morris, and I'm a junior. I'm Maggie Connors, and I'm a senior. I'm Lauren Morris, and I'm a junior. I'm Maya Gerard, and I'm a junior.
I'm Annalise Wood, and I'm a senior.
I'm Sonia Erickson, and I'm a junior. Perfect. So we are leaders at our school's chapter of Amnesty International. So we thought we'd just come in and tell you all a little bit about it. And yeah. There's one chapter of Amnesty International, which is a nonpartisan global movement with over 10 million participants in 150 different countries. And the main goal of this organization is to fight for human rights. Amnesty aims for systemic change and not just providing direct aid or relief, so that the effects of it and the benefits can be seen over a community of people and not just one person. And our club and our school helps to educate and take action for human rights worldwide. Also, Amnesty is all connected, so we're just one student group, but we have a student area coordinator for all of the Northeast who helps us with what actions to take and also like how to take action and what would be the most beneficial way to do that.
Okay, so as we just talked about, Amnesty is really just like a human rights organization. And the basis they use for all of that is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which really came out of World War II. But it includes about 30 different articles, such as like the right to be free of torture, the right to education, and many others. So we really just use that as a way to find injustices around the world, and then when they're happening, we use that to take action, because countries are obligated to follow this and give people these rights.
Well, we do many different letter writing campaigns, and where we, especially in our school, where we, collect letters for, amnesty and for different, injustices that Amnesty feels that letter writing campaigns would benefit. So some examples of this is Write for Rights, which is an international letter writing campaign, and Ban Books Week, where students discuss and sign petitions to prevent books from being banned.
Some of the other things we've done included really working for reproductive rights this November. We were able to collect over 300 letters from kids in our schools that we sent to voters in Arizona, urging them to vote yes on this piece of legislation that would like enshrine the right to an abortion in their constitution. This legislation ended up being passed, which was super exciting. So yeah, that kind of goes to show the efficacy of like Amnesty's efforts when we all come together.
So, some of our next upcoming actions and plans are, we're working with a special focus case, which is common for Amnesty to do. They send specific people to specific chapters to see what specific group can get done. We are soon to be working closely with Jose Ruben Zamora. He is a Guatemalan investigative journalist who was wrongfully convicted for money laundering, and now his hearings are being drawn out, and he is currently on house arrest, and facing many human rights abuses. So in the near future, we're planning on meeting with him face to face over Zoom and discussing some action that we can do to help. As of right now, this probably will look like letter writing, petition signings, and calling local representatives as well as people in the government of Guatemala.
So this is our next action that we're working on very soon. It's the National Week of Student Action. It actually already passed, but the topic is about the deportations that President Trump has ordered after he came into office. So the National Week of Student Action is where student groups all around the country focus on one topic for that whole week. And that's when a lot of our letters get written, and then we send them to the White House. So we are doing postcard action and also petition signing. So just Amnesty's stance on deportations, to be clear, is that the United States can respect human rights, treat all people with dignity, and have a border system that works for all of us. So Amnesty's stance on the border is that the United States acts of deterrence on the border, make it very unsafe for people to seek asylum. And asylum is a human right that is a violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Also, any funding that Congress passes for these deportations, we believe to be a violation of human rights because of where the funding is going and how that funding is being used. And just in all, mass detention and deportation violates human rights. So yeah, we're very against these deportations.
So Amnesty's stance is that it strongly opposes any congressional funding packages that would increase detentions and deportations or jumpstart other xenophobic policies. Detaining people based on their immigrant status is a violation of international law, and people have the right to seek asylum. The U.S. has a moral and legal obligation to help them. Oh, it's also important to remember that Amnesty is still nonpartisan, and it's an organization that focuses on human rights violations, not political parties. They have campaigns after each presidential turnover to call on any unjust policies in their 100 Days campaign.
Okay, so this is the 6 principles of the blueprint, and this is what Amnesty wants to accomplish during this National Week of Student Action. So firstly, to stop the demonization of people seeking safety and let borderland communities lead on all issues of immigration, obviously within reason. Second, to restore and protect access to asylum at the border. Again, asylum is a human right. Yeah, it's just a human right. And to deny that right is not something that we want our country to be known for. 3, to create and fund a system that is efficient, fair, and effective for justly adjudicating asylum claims. 4th, to invest in a welcoming infrastructure that works for people seeking safety and local communities at the border and across the United States. 5, to expand humanitarian pathways to the United States and strengthen regional protection mechanisms for people seeking safety. And 6, to recognize our shared humanity by upholding human rights worldwide so people are not forced to flee. I think that the last one is most important. When we look at immigration and illegal immigration, you know, we tend to look at that from our own perspective. But people aren't fleeing their country, they're not leaving their homeland without a lot of reason and a lot of threats in that homeland. So I think that that's really important to recognize. What will our action be? And some of this has already started, but we've been tabling in district libraries. We had a table set up in Charlotte where we're trying to get postcards to then send to President Trump. We're also going to have some petition signing in the future, and we're probably going to do that again at tables, either in our school or in the district library. We're also going to try to do some fundraising for stamps, especially because those do get extremely expensive, because we do a lot of letter writing, which you can see on the slide. And you might think that letter writing doesn't work. It's about the math of the letters that we send to a specific person, and it just shows the amount of support that we have for a person. And then at our school on Tuesday, we tabled and we had postcards with people signed, but then also a main goal of our club is to educate people. And then again, at the table, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew it was nonpartisan and we're just trying to support human rights. And lastly, how can you all help us? So we would love if you all would like to co-host an event with us based on Jean's Rotary Minute. You know, we think that we do have a lot in common with, you know, what we like to help with. So yeah, we'd be very interested with helping you all out in some of that. Also, we are going to be tabling in the Williston Library very soon. So we'll try to get a date out and I'll send it to John and he can send it to everyone. But we would love if you all would come to that. and also help us promote our actions like the Williston Library tabling that we'll do soon. And then also, if you all would like to help us fundraise, could you all connect us with some of your sponsors? Stamps are 50 cents a stamp, and that starts to rack up, and we don't have any funding at school, so yeah. Any questions?
Are there any boys in your club or is it a girls' club?
Two. Yeah, we're trying to up it.
I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
One of your issues is, one of the issues of Amnesty International is banned books. Are there any books that have been banned from your school library?
No. So Vermont, well, we don't really support banned books, just as a state legislator, but also, as a community. So a lot of the books that we were focusing on were being banned in Florida, because just because it's not a Vermont issue doesn't mean it's not an American issue. So, it doesn't directly affect us, but it will one day, especially if it gets banned at the national level.
I just wanna, speak on this quickly. I feel incredibly lucky to be living in a state where they're not banning books. I'm a huge reader and I've read so many of the books on banned books list, and seeing that, happening in other schools around the country and other states, like, it's just incredibly sad because, that's access to education. And, I think what Maddie said, like, just because it's not happening here doesn't mean it's happening everywhere. And I think this, like, banning books, it like gains traction and it becomes a much bigger thing. So we like to, try to stop things before they get into a much bigger problem.
I have two questions. One is, when was your chapter started? And the other is, who do a lot of the letters get sent to, like politicians or organizations?
Sure. So we send a lot of letters to ambassadors, especially in the US. It's cheaper, firstly, but also, we want people to know that Americans have an issue with it. In terms of when it was started, that's a great question.
Over 20 years ago.
Yeah, over 20 years ago. And yeah, a lot of politicians and like especially legislators and prime ministers.
And sometimes also we send the letters to the people who we're trying to support to show them support and show that people have their back too.
Congratulations on what you're doing. It's
you.
it's incredible and very inspiring, and I'm happy if, we as community members can be a part of the work that you're doing. But I have a question. Do you partner with other school groups of large organizations, regional, national? Do you attend events or, things like that, probably just to keep your momentum going? I just wondered if there are other things that you do on a bigger level.
Yeah, so UVM also has an Amnesty chapter. So over the years, we've had some co-hosting events with them. Also at our school, we have a lot of other clubs about human rights. We have Together We Rise, which is for uplifting women. We also have ENACT, which is for environmental. And then Racial Justice Alliance as well.
So like we mentioned before, there's regional, sort of like support as well as national support. There's Amnesty International, USA, and we've had in the past like 5-ish years, we've had 2 of our, club members go on to be part of YOCO, which is the Youth Coalition for the international chapter, and they do a lot of advising. So we're also very closely connected with the international aspect of, or the national aspect of this club organization. And last year, I believe we were honorable mention for most active club in the country. So
Wow.
yeah, we should do that. We hope to continue our like direct involvement with, close involvement with the national chapter.
So in just the last couple of days, right, we've all seen the horror of these 300 people who've been deported en masse without due process for each one of their individual cases. Is that I know sometimes organizations take a little time to be able to respond to things, but is there some kind of rapid response that either the national chapter can do or you can do?
Yeah, so Amnesty actually has a special part focusing on that called like the Urgent Action Network. So they have a platform called Slack. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. But it basically connects all of the Amnesty members around the country with the youth members that Maya was talking about, the youth collective. And they basically take all of the information that the Amnesty representatives give and they take it all down to us, inform us right away on like a super handy and convenient platform. And they usually send out petitions within like 1 to 2 days and then start planning bigger actions. And they also do like a lot of peer trainings, which is the youth collective members going to the younger groups and talking to them about these issues and talking about how we can take action. And those are usually planned within like a few days, which is really amazing.
Okay, that sounds.
Do you know how many high schools have a group like this in the state of Vermont?
There actually are not that many. We've tried to partner in the past with MMU. At one point they did have an active chapter, but right now it's pretty much just us and UVM.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm watching you and all I keep thinking of is the words to the song, I believe the children of the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. I'm so proud of what you're doing. I'm so incredibly proud. I always, when I was working with the college students, I always told them they were 100% of the future. So you have a lot at stake here. But I'm thrilled to hear what you're doing. Good for you, Maddie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Very, very interesting. I'm very practical. You said 50 cents. So are these just postcards or what do you do on letters? Because that's what, 73 cents or something now. So you have a special mailing system.
I just have those forever things.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we started doing postcards is because they're cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in December, we did a letter writing one, and we were able to get some stamps from Amnesty and send them individually, but the other ones we ended up sending in a big envelope, just because our club did not have the capacity
Oh,
to,
sure.
because we had collected like over 300 letters, which would have been.
And when you do a postcard, do people write their own or do you have the message on it and they only sign it?
We have both, so we have my younger self, and I tell them I would literally her. All the mistakes that she made, all the things she did led to where I am now.
Two-time rugby Olympian Ilona Maher is a force on and off the pitch.
I think a lot of times athletes, especially female athletes, are put in a box. I just think that's wrong. I think women are so much more than, you know, the stereotype of the sports we play. What's so special about rugby is that it is a sport that doesn't want you to in any way tone down your strength, your speed, your skill. It wants you to be as powerful, as fast as you can.
She played sports throughout her life, but one stood out the most: rugby.
I decided to try it out my senior year of high school, and I remember how I just understood it from the moment I got in the field. I kind of figured out, knew the spacing, I understood how to tackle, when to do what, and it just kind of fit my body like a glove. And I think I wanted to keep going with it because it felt so right.
Maher was relentless. She made it to her first Olympics in Tokyo, finishing 6th. A severe injury in 2023 could have knocked her out for the season, but she fought her way back to the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris and earned a bronze medal for Team USA.
As the Olympics officially start today, I want you all to take a look at all the different body types on display. All body types matter, all body types are worthy.
But it was her candid social media videos that captured the world's attention.
I think there's some misconceptions about what athletes eat. We eat a lot of carbs. I got 3 forms of carbs in my face right now. A brag hole, a croissant, a crepe. Fuel up. Don't stay hungry.
Not many people in the world are playing rugby, but so many people in the world have body issues. Everybody loves to eat, you know, so I think it was important for me to not just be one thing, to show there's so much more to me and to female athletes in general.
Maher's "the best friend you didn't know you needed" energy is connecting with people everywhere.
Hey everyone, here back again in the Olympic Village, testing out the cardboard beds. Woo! Thank you. Am I afraid my bed is gonna break? Yes, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's go.
I think it's just so impactful that these girls see me in that way, that they also see that I struggled as well, and they understand that I was also somebody who didn't always just love my body, but I've grown to love my body, and I think hopefully this gives them the right, or maybe the idea that they also can grow into that as well.
For Maher, making it to the Olympics isn't an end game so much as it is a springboard. She's now modeling and was part of Dancing with the Stars. She's also started playing rugby in England this year. There was so much demand for tickets to see her debut that the match was moved to a larger venue.
I want my legacy to be that young girls had something to look to and gave them hope to, oh, at some time I will learn to love my body. I will learn to appreciate it. I am more than just my sport or what people think about me. I am beautiful and strong because Ilona showed that you can be both. I hope that my legacy is one of authenticity and of somebody who always chose to be herself.